He was saying it was $100 million. Was it that or less?
It was less than that, but I'm not going to give you too much details about
I said
money,
it was cool. It was around. I thought it was like 90
90
million, something like that, 80 something.
It was a lot of money, and obviously this fight is 4 times the size of Joshua Ruiz. So, but we are also, Bob Arum's. A lot of people. I'm a optimistic guy, right? Sometimes I'm pessimistic because I like to play tricks with myself. But Bob's out, well, this is. It's not an ideal time for the fight because we're just coming out of a pandemic. I'm like, yeah, but it's the biggest fight in the world, Bob. This is by far the biggest fight in boxing. And of course, I'm sure some people would rather do it in September, October, November. But that's not what's on the table. What's on the table is June or July. That's when everybody wants to make this fight. We've all had an agreement for the fight to take place around that time. Now, listen, of course, the fighters have to sign off on the site deal. We all do. We have to all agree that this is the right choice of all the options that we've got. And we'll be gathering those options starting from now, or actually starting from a few days ago, and then presenting it to the fighters. But
all right, stop right there. This is you can watch this on the Zone if you have the Zone, AKM Barack's podcast. Eddie Hearn did an interview with them recently, giving the details on what's going on with the fight. Right now, it's looking like they're trying to secure a $100 million site fee in Saudi Arabia, according to the Athletics' Mike Coppinger. Now, here's where we are, because people are still skeptical. Me, I'm on it now. I believe the fight's happening. I'm like, all right, the fight is happening. From now, March the 17th, they have about 30 or so, 20, less than 30 days, 27 or so, to secure the site and basically have everything fully official and done, because they want this fight to happen in June or July. Now, what I'm getting from it is that Bob Arum is like still trying to push it off, or I don't know. Here is some excerpts from the Athletic. Top-ranked spokesperson Evan Korn, cool dude, referred to the contract signing as a preliminary agreement contingent on both parties finding an acceptable venue and location for the first fight. It must be pointed out because it's relevant. Remember, people thought the same thing about Wilder versus Fury 1 and 2, correct? Wasn't both of them? I'm pretty sure it was one, not sure which one, not saying the number one, the first fight. But I'm pretty sure, if not both fights were announced also without a venue, leading to people believe that it wasn't going to happen. Saudi Arabia is the front runner to host the event, sources said, and it's no surprise after the kingdom doled out approximately $60 million site fee to bring the rematch between Joshua and Andy Ruiz to Riyadh, December 2019. A fight between Fury and Joshua easily trumps Joshua Ruiz commercially and could fetch a site fee that more than doubles the $60 million. Those involved with their event are expecting in excess of $100 million. So site fee, I'm guessing the offset, the pandemic and pay-per-view, and then, COVID restrictions, ticket sales, all of that. But people are frustrated, and maybe they just don't want motherfucking Tyson Fury to fall off the wagon. He was already been hinting at it. Shit. That's a big deal, for real, though. It's not no joke. So the question is, I believe it's happening. And we've seen that Saudi Arabia, that they can build an arena in the desert. Remember, nobody believed that either. Nobody believed that Andy Ruiz was going to be even. Remember the whole stuff, he wasn't going to sign the contract, all that. Everything went down without a problem. Everything, production quality, it was beautiful. So you can only imagine what they'll do for a fight this big. You see what I'm saying? Fury's rematch with Wilder in February 2021 generated in the neighborhood of $70 million in pay-per-view in the U.S. Fury Joshua will likely rank in millions more on pay-per-view here in the States. Now, here's the thing. Here in the States, from what I'm gathering, is that it would be ESPN here in the States. Pay-per-view. But the zone territories globally. How does Sky Sports fits in? I don't know. We haven't got that far. Now, how would the fight happen? Now, of course, they will want to make sure that the UK fans are able to watch, at a reasonable time. They would do it the same time as they did Joshua Ruiz, correct? Or Ruiz Joshua 2. And then we would have a rare afternoon pay-per-view here in the States. How much would that rake in? And really, will it, the big heavyweight class, it'll move the needle here in the States. But I have concerns, though. I have concerns. So as it stands right now, as I said in my previous video that I did on Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, until we get some more concrete information and details on what's going on, I'm not going to be doing videos every day on this. This is not my thing. You know, every little article come out, got to come out, do a breaking news. Every little such and such said this, such and such reacts to this. Right now, this is it. This is all we have. 2-fight deal. One in June and July, the other one in November, December.
No one can be more committed than signing a contract. Do you know what I mean? So, It's easy for us to say, or people to say, yeah, we're in, we'll do it. Yeah, I want, you know, but once you sign, you sign. And, you know, now we've got to go and do the job for the fighters and for the fans and make sure that the biggest fight in world boxing is delivered to you this summer.
Is there any place, you mentioned that you have to sell it to the fighters. So in terms of AJ, is there any place that he prefer to fight not to take place at?
Do you know, he just wants to get his hands on Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. I mean, he's been training since the Pulev fight with one man on his mind, you know, and he just wants to get in the ring with him and take his belts from him. He'd do it.
Here's a little interesting thought I'm going to throw out there. I don't know what's going on with Clarissa Shields. She's supposed to be fighting in PFL. But if they can get her versus Savannah Marshall on the undercard, she wants her money, so money should be there for that. You know, or what would the undercard be? I mean, you would imagine usually with a fight this big, the fact that the main event fighters take up so much money, you know, you have to think that the undercard don't usually be that good. You see what I'm saying? It'll have some nice fights, but nothing really, really, really like super high profile. And also a Marshall versus a Shields. I just was throwing it out there. It should be its own card. I was just saying, just putting that out there. So until then, next, I guess we're waiting to see what Deontay Wilder's going to do. You know, I'm guessing Deontay Wilder's going to fight Charles Martin. In fact, while we're here, let's go look at the heavyweight division real quick. The rankings are updated on my site monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies. My website, FightView360.com. Let's see. So, of course, Tyson Fury and WBC and Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua, WBA Super, IBF, and WBO. Interim champion Alexander Povetkin and Dylan White are fighting next week. What is that, March the 27th? In what I'm looking at as a career fight, a career match, to be the mandatory for the winner of Joshua versus Fury. You have Alexander Usyk and Joe Joyce. They're still trying to work out a deal, so some bullshit going on over there. Charles Martin has turned down his IBF mandatory spot, so it's looking like it's going to be Michael Hunter versus Felix Hergovitz, possibly. Joe Parker involved in some drug shit. And Andy Ruiz is taking on Chris Arreola on pay-per-view April the 24th after Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Ain't that crazy and shit? Big Mexican showdown. I'm guessing they're going to try to put that in Texas. So, I am T Street Controversy with FightView360.com. Follow me on Twitter at FightView360 and also at T Street for Life, which is my personal Twitter page. Please subscribe. And like I said, when some real news come out or something significant, then I'll do a video. As it stands right now, that's all we know. Don't fall for the bullshit.